So good afternoon. Jai Bharat. Yeah. I'm Tulasi, an academician. A boy aged 6 to 7 years looked so worried and crying. When I inquired, he said he couldn't find his mother. So to help him, I just started searching for his mother. A man observing all this, he came, approached the boy, and he didn't ask for the details of the boy or he didn't ask for the details of his mother. Instead, he asked a simple question. Can you guess what it is? He just asked a simple question. If you were your mother, where will you search for you in this bus stand? If you were your mother, where will you search for you in this bus stand? The boy immediately pointed to a toy shop and said, my mother knows very well that I'll be happy watching toys in the shop. Then the man advised, go and search there. The boy went there, searched for his mother. He found his mother searching for him in one such toy shop. What the magic the man did here? He did nothing. What he did? He just asked a simple question. So he used the power of question to facilitate the boy to find his mother. The right question at the right time gives right solutions. Is question so important? What's a question? Who invented the question? The reference to question dates back to centuries, since Vedas. In Prasna Upanishad, Prasna means question. In Prasna Upanishad, it narrated that when students approached Lord Pipalada Maharshi, the Maharshi said, if you want to learn something, stay with me for a year, do meditation with faith, and then ask questions to learn. He didn't say that I'll teach. He said, ask question to learn. So they emphasize the importance of question to learn something. In the great book Mahabharata, we find Bhagavad Gita. Entire Gita is a dialogue between Arjuna and Lord Sri Krishna, where Arjuna is seeking guidance from Krishna and gaining knowledge. So it also explains the importance of question to grow in life. Even in modern era, many scientists, educators, they promoted questioning. Socrates, we often call Socrates, perhaps the father of questioning. He used to ask questions for each and everything. He used to question every practice. It's almost impossible to get an answer from Socrates without a question. And the series of questions or the method followed by Socrates is named as Socratic method. And Francis Bacon, an English philosopher, invented scientific method of learning where the question plays a pivotal role. And Albert Einstein, the most intelligent man, he said, if the questioning stops, even the learning too. We all know about Maria Montessori. She created Montessori method of teaching and encouraged questioning to nurture curiosity. So all these people are talking about question. What a question can do? A question engages the learner in the process of learning, and it makes the process effective. A question can make the understanding much deeper. In a classroom also, if you are really engaged, you feel like asking questions, yes or no. And sometimes many teachers, they encourage you to ask questions so that you involve in the process of learning. The question makes learning deeper, more understanding with more clarity. And a question retains the information learned a longer duration, and the question promotes language skills, because to frame a question you need to frame your thoughts. To express, you need to have good communication skills, and the question fosters curiosity. So curiosity is the key for the learning, and questioning is the better way to nurture curiosity. The famous scientist Albert Einstein, he said, he's the most intelligent man on earth. He said, I have no special talent, but I'm only passionately curious. So the curiosity, it plays a pivotal and vital role. If we observe children like you, they are like question banks. Sometimes we feel doubt. Did we give birth to girls or boys or question banks? So they're bubbling with energy. They keep on asking questions because they didn't bother about others' feelings. They didn't bother about what others think about their questions. They didn't bother about any situations. They don't have any apprehensions. So very enthusiastically, openly, they ask questions. That's why they're bubbling with creativity, they're bubbling with openness and energy. And all questions are alike, or are they different? There are different types of questions, and we find open-ended questions, close-ended questions. Here you can see a thread, but the end is with many simple threads. So open-ended question, as the name implies, it has many ends where it gives opportunity for the learner or the student to give variety of answers, multiple answers. It provokes thinking. It gives you opportunity to give out of the box solutions. Whereas the close-end questions, as the name implies, the end is closed. Maybe one or two. If I ask you what is your name, it's only she can say Jyotirmayi. So there is no other response she can give. Or even closed-ended questions sometimes may have two to three responses. For example, all the multiple choice questions in all competitive examinations, where you have to answer from the list of options given. Maybe 3 to 4, but the choice of options is restricted, whereas in open-ended questions, the choice is wide open. For example, I ask you to draw a square with 1 centimeter length. So what answer you can give? You can only draw in this way, right? But if I ask you a question, draw a big ball with many small balls, what's your answer? Many answers. It depends on your creativity, your innovation, your openness, your thoughts, right? A big ball with many small balls. So open-ended questions, they lead to out-of-box solutions, new innovations. What is this? A Polaroid camera. There is an interesting story behind this Polaroid camera. And you know, this is invented because of a 3-year-old girl's open-ended question. One day, this is invented by Edwin Land. In the year 1944, Edwin Land went to a vacation along with his wife and 3-year-old daughter Jennifer. They took some photos, enjoyed vacation. His daughter asked to show the photographs. She asked to see the photographs immediately after capturing. He said it's not possible, but this question, he keep on thinking about the question, and in future he invented this Polaroid camera which gives instant photographs immediately after capturing. So the question made by his daughter leads to the invention of Polaroid camera. So open-ended questions, they're always good. They provoke the thought and they give way for the new knowledge and new inventions. And there are some other questions too, like probing questions. These are like follow-up questions. You learn something to follow up further to give more clarity about the concept. We select probing questions and leading questions. Of course, these questions are framed in such a way that to give a particular response, an expected response, or like influenced response. For example, if I ask you, how is my sari? It's an open-ended question. You can say it's good, it's beautiful, it's not good, it's so. But if I ask you, my sari is very nice, no? You're expected to say yes. So these are the leading questions. And self-reflection questions. Of course, these are the questions we ask to ourselves. These are the biggest challenging questions in our life, because these are the ones which decide our future, which makes us to take decision about our life, whether to do it or not. Every day, the biggest challenge for me is at 5 o'clock, my alarm rings. The first question to me by myself is whether I have to sleep or am I going to get up? Am I going to sleep? Am I going to get up? I met a man. He gave a simple advice. He gave one mantra. That's also in the form of a simple question. When you are unable to take a decision, just ask yourself, reflect yourself with this simple question. That is, what the worst that can happen? Okay, you did this. What the worst that can happen? Okay, you denied it. What the worst that can happen? Just ask yourself, introspect yourself, take the decision. So self-reflection questions are very, very essential to take decision and progress in life. Of course, if we channelize this in a proper way, these are the ones which decide the future of our lives. And where we can ask all these questions? Of course, you can tell me many options. Where? Yes, as you expected, in a classroom. It's the best way to learn through questioning. But of course, passionate teachers, because teaching is not a profession, it's a passion. Passionate teachers, they encourage questions, they ignite the curiosity in the minds of the teacher. But some teachers, if the student asks question, they'll punish the student with some other question, right? There are such teachers too. But in classrooms, for better understanding, we ask questions. In some meetings, in some discussions, to brainstorm something, to put across some points, to take decisions, to draw conclusions, we ask questions. In interviews, where the interviewer asks the applicant about his qualifications, attitude, skill set, behavior, and so on. In social settings, for example, in social setting, the question plays an important role. It initiates the conversation. For example, I'm attending a marriage. I know nobody there. So what I do? After 5 minutes, I start conversation with the person next to me. The decoration is very good, no? The food is good. The boy is very nice. The girl's jewelry is very nice, and so on. So the question, it creates an opportunity to start the conversation in a new situations. And simple questions, they lead to build the relation. Sometimes just a simple question can avoid misunderstandings and build strong relationships, but we are not following it. Here, the simple triple filter test given by Socrates. I'll narrate an incident. As I said, he used to ask question for each and everything in the life. Socratic method. So one day, an acquaintance of Socrates came and he's about to say, do you know what happened? I just want to tell you something about your friend. So Socrates asked, stop, just stopping, man. Before that, I just want to ask you 3 questions. Question number 1, what you're going to tell me about my friend, is that true? He said, I don't know. Okay. Question number 2, what you're going to tell me about my friend, is that good? He said, no, it's something bad. Okay. What you're going to tell me about my friend, is that useful to me? He said, no. Okay, fine. So what you're going to tell me about my friend, it's not true, it's not good, it's not useful. Then why to listen? I don't want to listen. If we follow these 3 simple filters, we can avoid misunderstandings and we can build good social and bonding relationships in the family, in the classrooms, in the school environment, in the society, in our surroundings. Right? Okay. Is there any good question, bad question, right question, wrong question? There are. How to ask a right question? So to ask a question, first, we need to frame our thoughts. It requires some preparation, some thinking. And then, after thinking, ask your question clear, concise, specify the purpose. It should be open-ended so that, the other person can give the response what he wants. Thought-provoking, respectful, appropriate, well-timed. In short, question should be like a kiss. Keep it simple and specific. And sometimes, some people, in some classrooms, you come across the situation. They ask the question not to learn, but to test others. Right? So, they ask the question not to learn, but to test others or irritate others. Or in some meetings, they ask the question to make their presence aware of others. So that everybody know, oh, I'm here. So these sort of questions are bad questions. In Gita, Lord Krishna says about pariprashna. Pariprashna means ask the question with a genuine desire to learn, but not to test others. So in life, we need to follow the right questions. And the right question is usually more important than right answer. Right question plays a very important role. Now, okay, how to answer a question? Till now we learned about the different types of questions, what are the question and so, how to answer a question. To answer a question, first we need to listen carefully. Many people, they hear to give a reply, but they won't listen and understand. There is a lot of difference between hearing and listening. Listening requires focus of eye, ear, heart and mind. So it requires a lot of understanding, and to give a response, we need to listen very carefully. But you know what's happening in the present era, many of us, we didn't have time for patient listening and understanding. We are so involved with machines, forgetting about people and emotions. If we take some time, instead of hearing and giving an instant, hasty reply, if we could listen, understand, and respond to the situation, many unwanted situations in the society can be avoided, including suicides, or many unwanted situations can be avoided. So, to answer the question, first listen carefully, understand properly with mind and heart, and respond, but don't react. And while answering, be proper, be clear, be concise about your reply, and give a relevant reply, not that you know. If you don't know the question, answer to the question, admit it, be honest in your reply. Sometimes people ask you questions not to test your knowledge, but to test your character. So be honest while giving replies with your teachers, with your parents, while in the interviews, with the doctor. So be honest in giving your replies. And if possible, support your questions with some examples, with some stories, with some incidents, so that your answer will be very effective. And sometimes, there are quite interesting answers too. When you are a student, you are evaluated by your answers. But in the life, you are judged by your questions. Realizing the importance of questionings, Harvard, the greatest university in the world, it established RQI. Each and every one, we need to ask question. And as our former Prime Minister, Indira Gandhi Garu said, the power to question is the basis for the progress of the human being. So I wish you happy questioning and fruitful questioning. Thank you.